स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम करेंगे चैप्टर 5 NCERT द फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ। तो लेट्स सी व्हाट यू हैव डन टिल नाउ। तो फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ होती क्या है? सबसे पहले इसका डेफिनेशन क्या है कि सेल इज़ द फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ। सो डिस्कवरी ऑफ सेल की बात करें तो देयर वाज अ साइंटिस्ट हुज नेम वाज रॉबर्ट ह्यूक। सो इट्स गिवन हियर रॉबर्ट ह्यूक discovered the cell for the first time. So when he saw the cork, it resembled the structure of the honeycomb. So he mentioned those structures, the compartments. So earlier it was known as compartments, but now they are known as the cells. So cell is a Latin word for the little room, right? So this is all about the cell. Next comes the what are living cells made up of या living organisms made up of. तो living organisms are made up of cells. तो यहाँ पर एक एक्टिविटी दी है कि अगर आप ऑनियन पील जो होता है उसको रिमूव करके with the help of a pair of forceps, if you peel it off and observe it under the microscope, then you will see tiny compartments, and that compartments which contains nucleus also are the cells. So they will be visible, like this structure will be visible under the microscope. So these are the nucleus inside it, and you can see the cells. So this is what you are going to see under the microscope if you view the peel of the onion. Next comes that during that period in 1669, the microscopes were not discovered, so he saw it under the magnifying glass, but now we can see the cells under the microscopes, and a microscope structure is being given here. And these microscopes were discovered or invented by the Leeuwenhoek. So that's the name of the scientist. So in the next page, let's move on to the next page. So here it's given what are these structures, means they are asking you about the cells. So all the introduction they have given here. The cells were first discovered by the Robert Hooke, and the protoplasm inside the cells was seen by Purkinje first time, and Robert Brown was the scientist who discovered the nucleus for the first time, and Schleiden and Schwann were the scientists who gave the cell theory, and Virchow was the scientist who suggested that all cells arises from the pre-existing cells. So this is all given in the book. Let's move further. So here they have given about the cell sizes and shapes. So various cells of from the human body they have given, like I have already given you in the video, that smooth muscle cells, blood cells, nerve cells, fat cells, sperm and ovum, the round spherical spindle shaped cells, or the longest cells, or the smallest cells in human. This you have already seen in the video. So yes, here it's given that on the basis of the cell composition, organisms are of two types. One are those which are composed of single cells are called the unicellular organisms, and like amoeba and many protozoans, they are unicellular organisms. And few organisms which have many cells, two or more cells, their body is made up of two or more cells, they are called the multicellular organisms. So humans comes under the category of multicellular organisms, and plants, animals and fungi all comes under the category of the multicellular organisms. Let's see next. So here they have given according to the shape and sizes of the cells, like amoeba they can change shape. This also I have mentioned in the video, so you can see from there. Then next comes what is cell made up of. So this is again very important. So cell is made up of three things as I have given in the video, that is cytoplasm, plasma membrane and nucleus. So plasma, nucleus and the cytoplasm, these are the three important or basic structures present in each and every cells. So cell composition I have already given in the video also. So next comes the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. So a detailed study is given here, but I have not touched diffusion and osmosis. in the last video, so I will give you the link for it, and I will explain the diffusion and the osmosis separately in another video, and I'll give the link below in the description box. And for now, plasma membranes, they are the outermost covering of the cell. They are thin and they protect the cells from the external environment, and the plasma membrane allows, this is the function, that it allows or permits the entry and exits of the some materials in and out of the cell. So some materials, if they have to go out or come in the cell, then they will use the plasma membrane route. Okay, so it also provides movements of some other materials, and it is selectively permeable membrane. This is very important. So plasma membrane is selectively permeable. So next, some substances like carbon dioxide or oxygen can move across the cell membranes by the process of diffusion. So gaseous exchange, this comes many times in the exams, that gaseous exchange occurs in the cell membrane by the process of, so the answer will be the diffusion. Diffusion means the movement of substance from higher concentration to its lower concentration. So if oxygen is present more outside the cell, then it will come inside the cell through the plasma membrane by the process of diffusion, and if carbon dioxide gets accumulated inside the cell, then it will go out or move out of the cell through the process of diffusion. So gases, they move in and out of the cell through the plasma membranes. Next, they have given a detailed account of the osmosis that I have already told you that we'll do these in the next video, upcoming video. That link I will of course mention in the description box. Now next comes the structure. Here. So plasma membranes, they are flexible and are made up of lipids and proteins. This is very important. So they are flexible and they are made up of lipids and proteins. So flexibility of the cell membrane also enables. So function is that this flexibility helps the cell to engulf the food and other material from its environment, and this process is called phagocytosis. Engulfing food from the environment is called phagocytosis, right? So it's done by many macrophages, which are the type of the WBC cells. Next comes the cell wall. So cell wall, it lies outside the plasma membrane and it is rigid, right? And cellulose is complex substance. It is composed of cellulose. This is very important. It is made up of cellulose. So many times it is being asked that what is the substance of which the cell wall of the plant is made up of. So it is the cellulose. So cellulose is a complex substance and provides structural strength to the plant cells. That's why the shape of the plant cells is rigid. They have a fixed shape, unlike the animal cells, because animal cells, they lack the cell wall. So when a living plant cell loses water through osmosis, there is a shrinkage or contraction of the content of the cell away from the cell wall. Whole cell does not contract, but only the cell cytoplasm or the protoplasm shrinks, and this is called plasmolysis. Lysis means killing and plasmo means plasma. So if the shrinkage of the plasma occurs, it is called plasmolysis. So next comes the cell wall's function. Okay, there is one more thing that's not given here. The different organisms have different compositions of cell wall. So let's find out if it's given. No, it's not given, mentioned here, but we'll see. The cell wall of the fungi. Plants we have already done, it is made up of cellulose. Fungi is made up of chitin. The cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin, which is again a complex polysaccharide. And bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. So it is also a complex material. So you note down the two things, that cell wall of plant is made up of cellulose, that we have already studied, and cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin, whereas cell wall of bacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. So next, cell walls permit the cells of the plants, fungi and bacteria to withstand the various dilute or the hypotonic or the hypertonic solution. So it swells up or it may burst up. So this was all about the cell wall. Next comes the nucleus. So nucleus is the director of the cell. So it is present at the center, and in the plant cell it is eccentric in position, means slightly away from the center, but in the animal cell it is at the center. So if we put saffron in solution, it gives a methylene blue solution, it gives staining, a dot will appear in blue or the pink color, that is the nucleus in the cells. So let's move on to the other page. So here they have given you about the structure of the cell, nucleus. That nucleus are the double layered covering called the nuclear membrane is present over it. So it has double layered covering. Nuclear membrane has pores which allows the transfer of the materials to the cytoplasm and out of the from the cytoplasm and into the cytoplasm. That movement is through the nuclear membrane which bears the pores. So let's see if the diagram is being given here. So no diagram is given. So nucleus contains chromosomes. So inside the nucleus, so if we draw the structure, then it will appear like this. This is the nuclear structure. Suppose this is the cell. This will be the nucleus. That will be slightly eccentric in position, and it is double membrane structure, right? And these are the small pores I have made, and inside it will be the nucleolus, and the chromosomes are the thread-like structures which are present here inside it. So this is all about the nuclear structure. So nucleus contains chromosomes which are visible as rod-shaped structures only when the cell is about to divide. So chromosome contains, otherwise chromosomes are of thread-like structure like this, they will be lying in the nucleus, but when they are going to divide, cell is dividing, then they form a fixed shape. So this is the structure of the chromosomes, and on chromosomes are present the genes which are the inheritable units. All the colors and all the characters of yours and every person is because of these genes. So next comes the nucleus plays a very important role in the cellular reproduction, so by which a single cell divides and forms two new cells. It also plays crucial part along with the environment in determining the way the cell will behave. So it is the nucleocytoplasmic ratio which allows the cells to divide. So it gives signal to the cell when there is the grip of the nucleus over the cytoplasm becomes weak, then it's a time to divide for the cell. So in some organisms like bacteria, nuclear region of the cell may be poorly defined due to absence of the nuclear membrane. So now we are talking about the prokaryotes here. Prokaryotes like bacteria is the example of it, right? So in these organisms, what happens? Nucleus is absent. So nucleus is absent, then instead of nucleus, nucleoid is present. So nuclear region जो होती है, that is not defined, and instead all the structure which is present inside it is the nucleoid, and moreover it also lacks the membrane bound organelles.